lot larger than some little island off the coast of Kenya. These Chinese billionaires bankrolling this shit, just like that canal down there in Nicaragua. You know, guys, this is one more reason that you can kiss goodbye the sub-Saharan Africa. Anyway, let's jump down. And then this is an excellent article. I'm going to put the link to all these articles. And then they end up talking about the land grab going on. The land grab where all of these corrupt, elite Kenyan government officials are selling out their country to China. Quote, "It is land grabbing," says Tima Mohammed, whose farm was cut by a newly built access road. "They've said, we'll be paid, but we've been paid nothing." And whoever this critic of this project is, Abdul Qadir, says if land issues are not solved, there could be more violence brewing. Quote, "The feeling which many people have is the government is not recognizing us," he says. "The land is not growing and the population is growing." So what you have going on over there in sub-Saharan Africa is the multinational, globalist, billionaire planet eaters, and this growing, swelling tide of planet nibblers. There is no way in hell that sub-Saharan Africa and every species of earthling we share the planet with in sub-Saharan Africa is going to survive this. It ain't going to happen. Okay. Now, a lot of the stories today have to do with China. Let's see. We're going to draw some dots between China and Russia, China and the U.S., China and Antarctica. We just talked about China in Kenya, and you better believe there's China in Malaysia. But this is China in China. You gotta love this one. Since you can't laugh, since you can't cry, all you can do is laugh. From the Wire, the Atlantic Wire, China is trying to curb its smog problem before the world comes for a visit. Yeah, good luck on this one. All right. Later this week, several major heads of state, including Presidents Barack Obama and Vladimir Putin, will arrive in Beijing to participate in the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum to be held in the Chinese capital from November 7th to 12th. In advance of the summit, Beijing has constructed a hotel, villas, a new international convention center, and even a highway linking the convention center to the city. There is only one more thing that the Chinese government needs to do before this economic forum of globalist planet eaters, including Obama and Putin, descend on one of the most polluted cities on the planet, in probably the single most polluted country on the planet, which is China. There is only one thing that the Chinese government has left to provide all of these planet eaters, and that is clean air for them to breathe. In a city famous for terrible air pollution, smog-free days are never a given. But that has not stopped China from trying. So this is what China, before it gets completely embarrassed in this economic cooperation forum, which is another way of saying this ecological destruction conspiracy forum. This is what they have done to try to blow the smog out in the past couple of weeks. The Chinese government, has ordered a halt to heavy industry within a 125-mile radius of the capital, a region encompassing the heart of China's vast steel production industry. No shit, Sherlock, which is completely dependent on coal burning. A 125-mile radius, guys. If you don't remember your elementary school geometry, that is a 250-mile diameter, where every steel factory, which is one of the main reasons that China has to brag about its economic success over the last 20 years, is the same thing killing the air in China. Oh, and let's see, the Beijing government has granted most city residents a holiday during the summit and strongly encouraged them to leave town. Those who do stay face restrictions in using their gas-sucking cars. So what are they doing? They're shutting down all of the steel mills, and they're getting these gas-sucking, exhaust-spewing cars off the street so they can have all of this big economic cooperation summit where all of these planet eaters don't choke to death on the goddamn polluted sky. That is the obvious byproduct of an economic boom. If ever you need to see the link between a healthy economy in a sick planet, you go to a global economic cooperation forum. There you go. No better place. Anyway, let's just stay with China. Because, I mean, China, obviously, guys, it goes without saying, is the world poster child, illustrating the link between a, well, soon-to-be dead planet and a healthy economy. As I keep saying, with no help from the rest of the planet, China can destroy this planet with no help from the rest of us. Okay, let's see what is going on between China, Russia, and Antarctica. Alright, China and Russia thwart plan for Antarctic ocean sanctuary. There you go. China and Russia have thwarted an international attempt to create the world's largest ocean sanctuary in Antarctica, as both nations eye the region's rich reserves of fish and krill. Krill is pretty much the basis of the entire food chain. I don't even want to know what China and Russia have in mind for the Antarctic Ocean's krill. But we all know what they have in mind for the fish. The Commission for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources wound up a 10-day meeting in Australia on Friday without the consensus needed for a deal to conserve and manage the marine ecosystems in the Southern Ocean. While Russia blocked the conservation proposals for a fourth consecutive year, China's refusal to back the international plan came as a surprise to many delegates after its previous statements of support for conservation and marine protection. Well, I guess China had a change of heart when they realized the amount of seafood still left in this proposed the world's biggest marine reserve. There is no way in hell, even though that they had halved the size of it to try to get China and Russia on board, these fish huggers had cut the area of this reserve in half. It was not enough. There is no way in hell that China and Russia are going to let all of that sushi and whales and everything else go by without killing them. All right. Yeah, see, there was hope again after they cut it in half, but, quote, China challenged almost every conservation mandate that was presented, close quote, during the 2 weeks of talk. Andrea Kavanagh, one of these fish huggers, told Reuters China was, quote, an across-the-board conservation spoiler. There you go. And this other, Richard Page of Greenpeace, said the outcome was disappointing because, quote, the waters around Antarctica are among the least damaged ecosystems in the world. It is a shame that geopolitical interests are overriding genuine efforts to protect large areas of the ocean for future generations. There you go. This is what China and Russia are up to off the coast of Antarctica. It never stops. So, just before you think that I'm only picking on China, here's one from Reuters News that shows for once in history, China is taking a hardline stance against GMOs, against the